Welcome, dear students, to our history class of Standard 9th. Today, we will continue with Chapter 9, Changing Life, Part 1. In the previous class, we have learned about changes brought about by the Constitution, about the institution of family, social welfare, scheduled castes and tribes, and public health. So, let's continue with the lesson. Urbanization is a process where populations move from rural to urban areas, enabling cities and towns to grow. It can also be termed as a progressive increase in the number of people living in towns and cities. Urbanization has become a common feature of Indian society. Now, this usually occurs when a country is still developing. Various reasons have led to the growth of cities. They are as follows. Industrialization. Industrialization is a major cause of urbanization. It has expanded the employment opportunities. Rural people have migrated to cities on account of better employment opportunities. Then we have social factors. Many social factors such as attraction of cities, better standard of living, better educational facilities, need for status also induce people to migrate to cities. Employment opportunities. In rural sector, people have to depend mainly on agriculture for their livelihood. But Indian agriculture is depending on monsoon. In drought situations or natural calamities, rural people have to migrate to cities. Modernization. Urban areas are characterized by sophisticated technology, better infrastructure, communication, medical facilities, etc. People feel that they can lead a comfortable life in cities and migrate to cities. Urbanization can yield positive effect if it takes place up to a desirable limit. Extensive urbanization or indiscriminate growth of cities may result in adverse effects. They may be as follows. Problem of overpopulation. Concentration of population is a major problem of cities. It has resulted in accommodation problem, growth of slums, etc. Disintegration of joint family. Joint family can't be maintained in cities on account of high cost of living. People prefer to live in the nuclear type of families. Cost of living. High cost of living is a major problem of cities. In metro cities like Mumbai, Bengaluru, etc., it is very difficult for lower income groups to maintain a decent standard of living. Increase in crime rates. Urban centers are known for high rate of crimes. Theft, dacoity, murder, cheating, pickpocketing, rape, etc. are common in urban centers. Problem of pollution. In industrialized cities, pollution is a major problem. It may be caused by industries or by excessive movement of vehicles. Stress. Urban life is characterized by stress, which may even strain family relations. In cities, employment of women is almost inevitable. To meet the increasing cost of living, changing role of women in the family creates stress in the family, which may result in divorce or strained relations. Thus, urbanization has its own merits and demerits. Urbanization can't be avoided, but the negative effect of urbanization can be minimized. In order to reduce the strain on cities, it is necessary to make jobs available in villages, achieve a balance in economic development, control the expansion of metros and provide necessary services and facilities in urban as well as rural areas. A rural area or countryside is a geographic area that is located outside towns and cities. It has a very low population density. In rural areas, agriculture is the chief source of livelihood, along with fishing, cottage industries, pottery, etc. Now, a settlement smaller than a village is called a hamlet. A village, on the other hand, is a clustered human settlement or community larger than a hamlet but smaller than a town, with a population typically ranging from a few hundred to a few thousand. Mahatma Gandhi says, "The soul of India lives in its villages." Do you know, dear students, there are many villages in India that set an example for whole country and you must visit once in your life. Molenong in Meghalaya is the state's hidden gem. Molenong is Asia's cleanest village in the East Khasi Hills district of Meghalaya. The cleanest village is also referred as God's own garden and famous for its matrilineal society. Kila Raipur is a very famous village of Ludhiana known for annual Kila Raipur Sports Festival or the Rural Olympics of India. The village sports festival has become the destination for hundreds of sports enthusiasts. Malana. It is an ancient Indian village in the state of Himachal Pradesh, isolated from the rest of the world. The village of Malana is considered to be one of the first democracies in the world. Kokkare is a village in Karnataka. The village is named after the painted stork, which is called Kokkare in the native Kannada language. This bird nests here in large numbers every year. Apart from painted storks, spot-billed pelicans are also found here in large numbers. The village is one of the 21 breeding sites of those birds in India. This village is known for Kokkare Bird Sanctuary, a sanctuary created by villagers who have also adopted these birds as their heritage. Shetpal village of Maharashtra. Imagine yourself entering a house and you see snakes like cobras welcoming you. Isn't it disturbing and weird? Yes, right. If you want to encounter the same situation, then visit Shetpal, which is popularly called as Village of Snakes. In this village, snakes roam freely like pets, and even cobras can be seen in the homes of this village. It is one of the unique villages of India which can make anyone scared. Shani Shignapur. Are you daring enough to sleep without locking the main gate of your home? No. But the residents of Shani Shignapur village in Maharashtra do this every day. The home in this village doesn't have any door. Forget doors in home, but the banks in the village are also without doors. This village is one of the unique villages in India as it houses very first lockless bank in the whole country. Hampi village of North Karnataka is the city of ruins with historical group of monuments, one of the richest and largest cities. The village now is the most searched historical place in Karnataka on Google. Mattur, a village located in Karnataka's Shimoga district, is a rare place, perhaps the only place in India where the ancient language continues to flourish. Nearly 5,000 residents of Mattur converse with each other in Sanskrit. It is the only village in whole country where 90% of the residents converse in Sanskrit in daily routine. Pretty unusual, isn't it? True, and that's what makes it unique village of India which is trying to keep the ancient language alive. Punsari village in Gujarat. Around 10 years ago, the village was completely opposite of what it is today. It was a village which didn't even have clean drinking water and electricity. Now boasts all the modern facilities like Wi-Fi, CCTV cameras, solar powered street lights, health centers and everything which you witness in a developed city. Raghurajpur Heritage Crafts Village in Odisha. This enticing village is a heritage crafts village in Puri district and is a home to crafts like palm leaf engravings and tussar paintings. It is another unique village in India which is famous for art and craft materials. India has nearly 6.5 lakh villages, where to 68.8% population of the country lives. Rural development has been considered a key parameter in India's growth and prosperity. Keeping in mind the goal of rural development, the Collective Development Scheme has come into force. It was decided to give priority to economic development in villages. The government undertook this work through the medium of Gram Panchayats, which included people from all castes and tribes. Gram Panchayats, Panchayat Samitis and Zilla Parishad were empowered with more authority to achieve this. Changing economic life. Earlier, every village was economically self-sufficient. A majority of the villagers were dependent on farming. Farm produce used to be distributed among artisans as payment for their work. Now the situation has changed. Rural areas are engaged in agriculture and occupations ancillary to farming, while urban society is engaged in non-agricultural production and the service sector. Rural development usually relates to the method of enhancing the quality of life and financial well-being of an individual. Today, rural development still remains the core of the overall development of the country. More than two-thirds of country's people are dependent on agriculture for their livelihood, and one-third of rural India is still below the poverty line. Therefore, it is important for the government to be productive and provide enough facility to upgrade their standard of living. There are three major challenges with reference to the rural development, namely bringing about economic development, developing facilities to meet social needs, and finally bringing about a change of attitude in matters concerning society, culture, and ways of thinking. Now, it is equally important to expedite irrigation projects and bring about land reforms. It is necessary to give importance to facilities for public hygiene and health care. Even today, the rural population faces problems of drinking water, toilets, open drainage, narrow roads, inadequate electrification, lack of facilities for medical treatment, lack of good quality educational facilities from primary to higher education, centers for recreation and libraries. The collective development scheme had an important place in all the first 4 5-year plans of the Government of India. The state of Maharashtra registered remarkable achievements under this scheme. For example, Zilla Parishads were established in 1962. Nutritious diet scheme was launched in 1970-71. Rural water supply scheme was started for sinking wells and providing piped water. By 1971, 1,677 small dams had also been built. Electricity is essential for the development of rural areas. Electricity is needed for automatic pumps which are needed to water the fields, to preserve perishable food items such as milk, eggs, fruits and vegetables, to run fertilizer projects, and for fans, TVs and lights. During the first 5-year plan, electricity has been provided to 3,000 villages in India. By 1973, it reached 1,38,646 villages. From 1966, it was decided to supply more electricity for pumps and borewells. In 1969, Rural Electrification Cooperation was established. Rural electrification cooperative societies came into being in the states of Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Uttar Pradesh. A village industries planning committee was formed to help the development of industry in rural areas. 1,06,000 persons got employment under this scheme by 1972. The government of Maharashtra has also started residential high schools known as Vidya Niketan in Satara, Aurangabad, Nasik and Chikaldhara. Their purpose is to provide the best quality education to intelligent and meritorious village students living in unfavorable conditions. Agriculture universities were established in Rahori, Akola, Parbhani and Dapoli in Maharashtra. In recognition of the work done in the field of education, UNESCO awarded its International Prize for the spread of literacy to Maharashtra in 1972. In this way, overcoming the obstacles at the beginning of post-independence period, India began to develop and make progress. In the next chapter, we shall learn more about the developments in other fields. That's all for this class. Thank you.